Hello everyone, it's Doll here. We're back with another Bratz video, and today I'm going to take you back to 2006 and 2007. Now I am particularly happy to show you this line, or this doll from the line, because it is actually a Canadian exclusive. And it's nice to show Canadian exclusive stuff on my channel because I'm Canadian. So this is actually a doll straight from my childhood. She is a rarer doll, and that's exactly why, because it's a Canadian exclusive. So they were not widely released. I'm not even sure how many were made, but I honestly don't think it was that much because this wasn't a really promoted release, I don't believe. These were dolls done by a designer. So this is behind the scenes fashion Marielle. This is actually the second edition of behind the scenes fashion. There's a first edition and the second edition, and they were both designed by Marie sait-pierre, and they were only sold at Walmart. And Marie sait-pierre, she's actually from Quebec, Montreal, Quebec. So the girls in this line were actually thought out to be French Canadians, which is very exciting for me because I am half French Canadian, if that makes sense. While I'm not from Quebec, which is kind of different, I'm Acadian, but still, it's a nice representation nonetheless. So the first edition features Amélie, Emmy, and Noemi. So I'm brushing up on my facts on Bratz Wiki, the Wikipedia page, basically put together by a bunch of Bratz friends. It's like any Wikipedia page you can edit and stuff like that. And also this is brushing up on what I already know as well. So anyways, if you want to see pictures of the other dolls in the line and stuff like that, please check out the Bratz Wiki page. It will be in the description below. So the first edition features Amélie, Emmy, and Noemi. They came in tube-shaped packaging and had 2 outfits and purses. Now, this was just the first edition, though. So the first edition came out in 2006, while the second edition, 2007. Amélie had an olive-colored skirt. Noemi had a blue skirt. And Emmy had a vibrant purple skirt. In this line, I find at least, Amélie resembles Jade. Noemi resembles Yasmin, but without the beauty mark, and Emmy resembles Chloe, but has a beauty mark near the upper left side of her lip. And I'm pretty certain that these are reused screenings. Like, I'm not sure about the first edition. They do look familiar to me though, and I can't really put a name behind who they are. I'm pretty sure they're reused, because this was just, I don't think this was a main release or anything like that. I think it was a fun release for Canadians. So the first edition features wrapped tops and flowy baggy skirts with leggings. That seems to be kind of the theme. It's really cute. I do like the fashions in the first edition. The second edition still has some similar themes we see with Marielle, but there's an ongoing theme of ruffles with this edition, as you can see with her second dress here, although it is a bit beat up, worn out, I'll say. But I will try that on her. You will see that on her. Marie sait-pierre gave a kind of romanticism and innocent theme to them. That's what they thought of. She didn't design the dolls herself, and she didn't choose who the characters would be or anything like that, but she did design the fashions. So she designed them based off of innocence and romanticism. And you can definitely see that going on here, especially with this dress. Now, again, this is the second edition. They still have second outfits in the second edition, but they only have 1 pair of shoes. The girls in the second edition are named Ariane, Etienne, and Marielle. There's still a theme of basing characters off of Chloe, Jade, and Yasmin in this edition. As you can see here, Marielle looks a lot like Chloe, and I'm sure I've seen this screening before, but I can't remember where. If you know which Chloe this screening is based off of, can you let me know in the comments, please? Because I'm not good with identifying screenings. Some I am. I do know a fair amount, but my brain just blanks on a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of dolls, so I get a lot of blanks. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention, but the French name for this line is Haute Couture en Coulisses. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm saying the last word correctly, because I honestly thought that was a swear word. I don't know, that's what I've been hearing off of TikTok. Like, it just sounds like a swear word. The French from where I live is very different from the French in Quebec. Just a fun fact, my dad has gone to Quebec before. French is his first language. The French here, at least, and we call it Acadian French, basically. But yeah, he went there and they couldn't understand him. So I just started speaking English to him because he's like fluent in English, right? But French is his first language. So I just found that hilarious. Like if we go to Quebec, they can't really understand us as well because our French is very different and our accent is probably very different as well. So I do know, while I was talking about the screenings, I do know that Ariane's is Yasmin's screening from the back to school line. So that's very interesting because if you find an Ariane nude in Canada, it would be totally possible for you to accidentally identify her as back to school Yasmin while she would actually be Ariane from behind the scenes fashion. So that's very interesting if you think about it. I think there's also a doll. I think it's Safari Megan. Oh no, I think I am wrong. But there is a Megan who has the same screening as the Rock Angels like fan sign event Megan. And I think that's because she's not really significant to the line. I think they tend to do that with the screenings for dolls who are not really like part of the main line, you know what I'm saying? That's what I think, at least. I don't know for sure. I don't work at MGA. The packaging is also similar to the first edition and the second edition, except the design is a little more romantic. I find in the first edition it's a little more like funky. I don't want to say funky, that's not the right word. Sharp, I guess. And this one is a little more romantic, like there's roses in the design and stuff like that. And there are ribbons on top of the handle, whereas the first edition, there's no ribbons. So that's a little different as well. There's also different colors for the different girls with the ribbons. So both editions are quite hard to find as they're Canadian exclusives, like I said before. Very interesting to note, but I've seen collectors say this before. They don't like the word rare because a lot of people use the word rare wrong when some dolls aren't necessarily rare, they're just sought after, so they become a little more hard to find because people are after them, and also more expensive because people know that there's people after them. Releases like this are actually rare because it's exclusive to one area, and especially I don't think Canadian releases were nearly as big as the US releases. And you couldn't get these in other countries too. So I would say this is a rare doll. If you go on eBay right now, you can search for yourself. You won't find one for less than $100 unless the person doesn't know what they have. So they go for a pretty penny on eBay. I honestly think that she is probably the rarest doll, if not one of the rarest dolls I own. She's definitely my rarest Bratz. But again, she is a Canadian exclusive. There's actually, fun fact, from what I've seen and heard, there's only been 5 Canadian exclusives releases, unless they come out with some in the future, which would be really fun. I think that would be great if they did that. So Behind the Scenes Fashion First Edition, Behind the Scenes Fashion Second Edition, those are both Canadian. The ice hockey, those dolls also go for a pretty penny as well. There's 3 in that line. The Design by You, I believe, I'm not sure if they did a US release version as well for the Design by You, but I know there is Canadian exclusive one. And then Passion for Fashion, Careers, and Style. Those 3 releases, I know for a fact the ice hockey is a Canadian release, obviously. Ice hockey, that's a very Canadian thing. But the Design by You and Passion for Fashion I'm very not similar with. It's just saying on the Bratz wiki that it's Canadian exclusive. So I'm not sure about that. I do think it's really great. And I think it's really fun that they chose to support a Canadian designer. I'm not familiar with that designer myself, but I think that these outfits are great. So the screening, again, let me know if you know the screening for this Chloe. I'm not familiar with her myself. I did redo her hair just today because the elastic bands were dry rotting. Again, this is my childhood doll. She's still got her earrings, she's still got her bracelets, her shoes. I should have everything she has, including her hairbrush. And honestly, I probably had that ribbon that was on her packaging for a while because I would keep stuff on the packaging. Like, I would keep everything when I was a kid, so... And usually I wouldn't bother my dolls out of their original outfit and stuff like that. And I usually wouldn't cut their hair and stuff like that. There was only one that I did, but I don't know. I don't know what was going on with my brain then, but I was kind of older, so I knew better. But yeah. So she's got like the sheer little like triangles on the side. and on the back as well. I really like the flowy skirt. It's really cute. I love this wrap top, although it's a little confusing to get on, but it's not awful. So this is the wrap top. It's pink. This is my favorite outfit of hers, would be the first outfit for sure. Very flowy. Look, look like bat wings. So I think that's really nice. Here's the shoes. These have definitely been used before, I'm sure. There is like little underwear, so the skirt doesn't ride up like a lot of the Bratz clothes do. I don't think you could actually see when I showed that, but trust me. So this is her second outfit. I just tied it simply in the back because I'm not good at tying things, if I'll be honest. I tried to straighten out. There were threads coming loose. They were fraying over here, so I just tidied it up a little bit. The skirt is kind of like an off-white color a little bit. It's got some tulle at the bottom here. We've got this big ruffle going on in the front. That's where I mentioned like the ruffles. Ariane has like ruffles on her first dress. It's really pretty. I really do like Ariane's design and also her facial screening, because I think back to school Yasmin's facial screening is beautiful and it's the same screening. So, and her dress is just beautiful. So, but I got Marielle when I was a kid and I still love her. I don't know if she was on clearance or not. I remember getting her at Walmart. There are a few doll releases that I remember getting. And also My Scene Madison from the My Bling Bling line. Or whatever. I forget what the line exactly called, but the Bling Bling line. So here she is in her second outfit. Still very pretty. I do enjoy the first look a lot better though. Just my opinion. I tried to fix her hair similar to what it originally was. Or at least my childhood doll, but I think maybe I played with her a little bit and it loosened out over here. It's just hard to put it back like it was, but in the box pictures, I don't know if it's because they have her like tied up, and also these elastics are a little bigger than I'd like. I'd like smaller elastics to use, but it's more like this in the box. She's very pretty though. Anyways, that's it for this video. I wanted to show her. She's definitely never leaving my collection. She's very hard to find, so if I wanted to get her back again, it would be very difficult not doing that. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye!